The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome everyone to our webinar today on application modernization on the IBMI. I'm Mike Mahan, the sales director for LANSA. Also joining today is Eugene King. He has over 25 years experience with LANSA tools, and he'll be doing the driving today on our modernization journey. So what we'd like to do is to cover really three areas. So we'll talk about refacing. So putting a different front end on the IBMI. Repurposing, which is really about adding value to the individual users. So sort of extending what you want to do in your modernization process. And then finally, as I said, extending into adding additional applications to the IBMI. So we'll finish with a question and answer session at the end. So please do answer your questions as you go. So we all know the IBMI is an incredibly reliable, very stable platform. It takes very few people to maintain relative to other systems. But really, this is what everyone thinks the IBMI is. And in reality, the IBMI is much more. So the IBMI can be a portal front end, it can be mobile applications, responsive mobile applications, and it can be web-based interfaces, things that people are really used to seeing. So what I want to do is cover a couple of concepts before Eugene gets started. So next slide, Eugene. So there are different concepts out there. So no code is really all about someone who doesn't know anything about coding being able to generate an application. It's all about drag and drop. The issue with this is you have to wait for the developer of the no-code solution to add any functionality. Low code enables you to use some similar techniques, but also add functionality, but not within the same development environment. What LANSA really does is a hybrid low code. So taking advantage of no code and low code, which you're going to see primarily today, but also within the same development environment, the ability to create additional integrations, more enterprise grade applications, again, within the same development environment. We're going to be focusing primarily on the left-hand side of this chart for the conversation today. But I did want to make you aware that there's much more that can be done. We do have other webinars around integrations and more detailed development that we have recorded as well. So with that, I'm going to let Eugene take over the presentation and start us on our journey today.
So thank you very much, Mike. So what I really want to do is just give you an overview of the different tools that we're going to be looking at with regards to the modernization of your applications. And there's really three different tools that we need to look at. The first is our refacing engine. Now, I will be looking at each of these in turn, so we'll be drilling down as we go through the actual presentation. So the first is Axes. This is a refacing engine. This is actually how we web enable your applications very, very quickly. We'll see this in the first demonstration. The second is our flagship product. This is Visual LANSA. This is where, as a LANSA developer, I will spend most of my time. This is where I develop my applications. And again, we'll drill down more on that later. So we've got these two products. And then we have another product which allows us to connect the two together. So we can take your refaced 5250 screens and we can reuse them inside a modern web application. And we'll see that in action in a second. So first of all, I want to focus on Axes. So this is the refacing tool. So when we take a look at a typical 5250 screen, what we can do is we install Axes on your box, and you can go onto our website now, download Axes, install it on your IBMI, and instantly you'll have web access to your 5250 screens. We do not change your application anyway. You don't need to change the DDS. You don't even need the DDS. We actually work on the 5250 data stream. We convert that into HTML on the fly. So out of the box, you get this web-enabled web application. And then using our developers tool, we can then start adding rules around that on how things are displayed. And again, we'll see this in action when we get into the demonstration. And you can further enhance screens. So you can look at specific screens. So normally when we look at these sort of modernization approaches, we really analyze where users spend their time. And we use the 80-20 rule. Users will spend 80% of their time in 20% of the screens. And it's these screens where we want to add value. And I'll show you examples of that. Now on the development side, again, it runs in the browser. So runs directly off the IBMI. I can go in and I can set up global rules. So this applies to the entire application. This can be making your menu items clickable. A date box, if it's a date field, that it has a prompt. If it's a set of radio buttons, I can visualize that as a set of radio buttons or checkboxes. So I can set them up globally so it applies across the entire application. And in the first spin, that's normally what we do, is that we set up these global rules to get a good looking application. We can go down to a screen level and we have this WYSIWYG. So this is what you see is what you get. You can drag and drop, you can add extensions onto that screen. You can even run this in a mobile device, and we have extensions that allow you to integrate to the camera to be able to take signatures, to use the GPS of the mobile device. And we have all of those out of the box available to you. Now, we're not going to have time today to look at the development side. You know, we can always have another session where we can dive deeper in and show you how that works. What I really want to do is to show you the stages of the modernization.